how do you feel like the two of you overcome hardships and struggles in your marriage, and how do you work together, and how have you found that balance, or are you continuing to find that balance?
Great
Yes,
question.
that's a great question. Even when you asked me about anxiety, someone asked me about this the other day about anxiety, and I said, that postpartum anxiety with Honey was such a shock. And I really meant that because it had been so long since I'd struggled. And I really attribute that a lot to our marriage. When we got married, Christian became a true like partner in life with me and a best friend. And like, he dove into my struggle and understanding it. Like, I remember I went to this anxiety doctor, and like he came with me and learned all the tips and tricks and like helped me overcome that. And you helped me too during my postpartum. Once I opened up to you about it, I was a little bit private about that at first, which I think so many people do when they struggle with any form of mental illness. You go private, but man, so much freedom in being known in that area and having accountability. And so Christian, I attribute so much to overcoming that hard aspect of my life to our relationship. And since we've gotten married, we've been through some hard things together, becoming parents and things we walk through with our children, even at a young age when it comes to health things that we've kept a little more private. But it's been some definitely deep times in our marriage that have definitely bonded us. And so it's funny, in some ways 5.5 years feels long, and in some ways it feels really short. But yeah, I definitely feel like we've been a team in all the hardship.
That's good. Yeah, I feel like, man, it's really just communication. Statistically, most marriages end because all people go through difficult things. It's just you have to have the vulnerability to discuss them. And like I said, statistically, most marriages end because people go through hard things and they don't voice them to each other. They don't have those deep conversations and those conversations of what you're struggling with. And I think in marriage it's so beautiful because you do get to voice those things. If you go through things individually and you don't ever talk about them, then you can't really speak into it. So for us, it's just constant communication.
We're also big fans of counseling. I'm like,
big fan of counseling. We just met the counselor last week.
We've had a counselor since our premarital stuff, and she's stuck with us ever since. And sometimes we talk to her more than others, but even before stepping into the show, she just came in town and met with us and just kind of got our hearts together before we step into the show. So we are always a fan to admit that it's good to have a counselor.
Little taglines like it's never say never always, which means I never, I don't say you never do this or you always do this. So little subtle things like that.
Big fans of the little phrases.
Little phrases, but yeah, just being in a place where we can have those conversations of things we're wrestling with and do it together and not try to do it apart.